The Willow Grove Manor's dining hall glowed under the soft flicker of chandeliers, the air rich with the aroma of roasted lamb, rosemary, and aged wine. Laughter and the clink of glasses filled the space, a symphony of celebration for my father's 60th birthday. The long oak table was crowded with family, my parents, siblings, aunts, uncles, cousins, and childhood friends from our small town of Asheville, North Carolina. It was the kind of gathering that felt like a snapshot of home, except for one glaring absence: me. I wasn't invited. No heated argument, no public disownment, just a calculated omission, delivered through a group chat I'd been quietly removed from months earlier. My younger brother Caleb broke the news with a text on Tuesday. "Hey Soph, just a heads up, Dad's 60th is Saturday at Willow Grove. Keeping it to immediate family. Hope you're cool with it." Immediate family. The phrase landed like a stone in my chest, heavy and cold. I'm Sophia Grant, 35, founder and CEO of Horizon Analytics, a San Francisco-based AI firm that's redefined urban infrastructure with predictive data models. My work has saved cities millions, from rerouting traffic to mitigating disaster risks. In my world, I'm a visionary, my name on conference banners and magazine covers. But in Asheville, I'm the daughter who left, the one who traded family for ambition, erased from their story with surgical precision. I stared at Caleb's text, my thumb hovering over the keyboard. I typed a response. "Did you mean to exclude me?" Then deleted it. Typed again, deleted again. Finally, I sent, "Thanks for letting me know." 2 hours later, my sister, Lila, texted, "Sophia, don't make this about you. Dad wants it simple." Simple? Yet the guest list, I'd later learn, included distant cousins, neighbors, even my high school debate coach. I wasn't forgotten. I was erased. And erasure is a choice, sharp and deliberate. I could have stayed in San Francisco, drowned myself in deadlines. But something stirred. Not anger, but resolve. I wasn't going to let silence define me. I booked a flight to Asheville, not to beg, but to stand in the truth of who I'd become. The week of the party, Horizon was buzzing. We'd just landed a $50 million contract with New York City, and I was onboarding a new analytics team. Among them was Elise Harper, 28, a sharp urban planner turned data scientist from Asheville. Her resume was impeccable, but it was her LinkedIn that caught my eye. A photo of her and Caleb at a local festival, her red scarf bright against his flannel. She was his fiancée, a fact he hadn't mentioned. During onboarding, I kept it professional, walking the team through our predictive models. Elise's questions were incisive, her passion clear. After the session, she approached me, her voice soft but steady. "Miss Grant, I didn't realize you were Caleb's sister until I arrived," she said. "He never said you were Horizon's CEO." I smiled, deflecting. "Family doesn't always keep up. You're here for the work, right?" Her eyes lit up. "Your flood mitigation model was my thesis case study. It's why I applied." We talked for 20 minutes, data, cities, impact, and I felt a rare connection, a thread tying my past to my present. "You're going to do great things here," I told her. She nodded, her smile genuine. "Thanks to you." On Thursday, Lila's Instagram post sealed my decision. A photo of my father, laughing in his favorite flannel, captioned, "Honoring the best dad this Saturday. Family is everything." The comments flooded in. Relatives, church friends, even my old piano teacher. "Can't wait. All the Grants together." No one mentioned me, not even in passing. It wasn't an accident. It was a statement. I closed the app, my jaw tight. I wasn't going to shout or sulk. I'd show up, not as the girl they remembered, but as the woman I'd become. I packed a tailored charcoal dress and a gift from my father, a handcrafted walnut pen, engraved with "Tell Your Story." He'd once confessed, after too many beers at a family picnic, that he'd always wanted to write a memoir, but feared he'd run out of time. I'd held on to that moment, tucking it away like a seed. The pen came with a card. For the chapters ahead, happy 60, Dad. I booked a flight for Friday, landing in Asheville under a sky heavy with memory. Willow Grove Manor hadn't changed since my senior prom dinner. Same stone facade, same velvet curtains, same piano looping jazz standards. I checked into a boutique hotel downtown, its exposed brick and soft linens a stark contrast to the cluttered home I'd left. I pressed my dress, answered emails, and placed the pen on the nightstand, its weight grounding me. Saturday evening, I drove to the manor, my heart steady but my hands tight on the wheel. The private dining room hummed with warmth. My father sat at the head, his silver hair catching the light, a king in his element. My mother, in sapphire silk, smiled beside him, her laughter soft. Lila, vibrant in red, juggled Emma on her knee while chatting with an aunt. Caleb leaned back, his arm around Elise, who looked radiant but alert, her eyes scanning the room. The table was a mosaic of my past, cousins trading stories, uncles pouring wine, friends toasting my father's legacy. I stood in the doorway, invisible for a moment, until a cousin's gasp rippled through the crowd. The laughter didn't stop, it fractured. Lila's smile froze. My mother's glass paused midair. My father looked up, his brow furrowing, then chuckled, a sound more defensive than warm. "Well, Sophia, didn't expect you to grace us with your presence," he said, his tone sharp enough to cut. I stepped forward, my heels clicking on the hardwood, and placed the pen on the table before him. "Happy birthday, Dad," I said, my voice soft but unshakable. I wouldn't miss it. He stared at the gift, then at me, his eyes flickering, surprise, discomfort, maybe regret. My mother reached for my arm, her touch hesitant. "Sophia, we didn't think you'd—" She trailed off, her words swallowed by the room's tension. Lila's gaze was fixed on her plate, her knuckles white around her fork. Caleb shifted, his jaw tight. The silence stretched, taut and heavy, until my father leaned back, his smirk returning. "Big shot CEO now, huh? Too busy for us small-town folks, but you've got time for a grand entrance." The jab was familiar, meant to shrink me. I opened my mouth, ready to respond, but Elise stood, her chair gliding back with quiet purpose. She wasn't loud, but her presence filled the room, her eyes locked on my father. "Sophia isn't making an entrance," she said, her voice clear, cutting through the haze. "She's honoring you, even though you didn't invite her. She's my CEO, Sophia Grant, founder of Horizon Analytics, a company saving cities millions with AI no one else can match. She's not just your daughter, she's a pioneer, and you're blind if you can't see it." The room froze, breaths held, glasses forgotten. My father's smirk vanished, replaced by a flicker of shock. Lila's head snapped up, her eyes wide, darting to Elise, then me. Elise didn't flinch. "I studied Sophia's work in grad school," she continued, her tone steady but fierce. "Her models are global standards. She hired me, mentored me, and never made me feel less. But you've erased her for years. She paid for Lila's car, Caleb's surgery, your vacations, never asking for thanks, never boasting. You call this family, but you left out the one who's held you up." She turned to Lila, her voice softening but unyielding. "You resented her for leaving, but she didn't abandon you. She built a legacy. And tonight, she brought a gift, not a grudge. That strength you don't deserve." The silence was deafening, a mirror reflecting truths they'd buried. My mother's eyes brimmed with tears, her fingers trembling around the pens box. My father's face was a mask, his usual bravado crumpling. Lila's daughter stirred, sensing the shift, while Lila stared at Elise, her expression a mix of shame and shock. Caleb squeezed Elise's hand, his eyes on me, a quiet apology in his gaze. I stepped back, my voice calm. I didn't come to ruin your night, I said, meeting my father's eyes. I came to celebrate you, Dad, but I'm done being invisible. I turned to my mother, touching her shoulder. I hope you like the pen. To the room, I added, enjoy the evening. My heels echoed as I walked out, each step lighter, the weight of a decade falling away. In my hotel room, the Asheville skyline twinkling beyond the window, I didn't cry. I poured a glass of Merlot, opened my laptop, and reviewed Horizon's latest projections, $75 million in new contracts, a team growing faster than I dreamed. At 11 p.m., my phone buzzed. My mother, asking to see me. I agreed, meeting her in the hotel's quiet lounge. She brought a tin of her blackberry cobbler, its scent pulling me back to childhood Sundays. Her eyes were red, her hands unsteady. "We didn't know how to keep you," she said, her voice breaking. "You were so big, Sophia, and we felt small." I shook my head. "I just needed you to try." We talked until 2 a.m., about the pen, my father's pride, my years of solitude. She admitted Lila's bitterness had shaped their distance, a fear of losing her too. "We failed you," she said. I didn't absolve her, but I listened, and that was a start. 3 days later, Lila called, her voice raw. "Elise laid it all bare," she said. "How you run Horizon, how you never flaunted it. I hated you for leaving, Soph. It felt like you were saying we weren't enough." She paused, her breath shaky. "I was wrong. You didn't run. You survived. And you kept helping us, even when we shut you out." I let her words settle, then said, "You're not stuck, Lila. You can still build something." She laughed through tears. "Mom wants to see San Francisco. I do too." I smiled. Doors open. A week later, an envelope arrived at Horizon's office. My father's handwriting, firm and precise. "Sophia, I didn't see you because I didn't want to. You're more than I could have dreamed. I'm sorry, and I'm proud." Inside was a sketch he'd drawn when I was 10, a girl with a calculator labeled Sophia's Empire. On the back, "You were always destined for this." That summer, I bought a loft in San Francisco's Presidio, its windows framing the Golden Gate Bridge. On moving day, my team gifted me a steel plaque, "Build what endures, and they'll have to see." Beside it, I hung a framed cocktail napkin from Willow Grove, Elisa's words scrawled in blue ink, "She's my CEO." It wasn't about winning, it was about truth. 5 years later, for my father's 65th, we gathered at my loft. Lila brought cobbler, Caleb smoked ribs, Elise curated a jazz playlist. My father arrived with a leather notebook, pages filled with his early memoir drafts. Under the stars, he pulled me aside, his eyes soft. "You didn't just return," he said. "You rebuilt us." I nodded. The past no longer a weight, but a foundation. I didn't come back for forgiveness. I came to ensure my absence wasn't their narrative. I built a legacy, left the gate unlatched, and they walked through, not as the family I'd lost, but as the one we forged anew. If you've been erased, don't scream. Build something so bright it blinds them, and let truth do the rest. Drop one word below if this resonated. Seen.